Okay, here's my message to the gentleman in the room. If you have feelings for a girl, ask her out. Okay? It doesn't need to be dragged on for centuries. Just ask her out. Have courage. Girls like that. You want to get on their good side? Be nice to them. Compliment them. It's little details. Girls spend a lot of time paying attention to the details. To their shoes, their earrings, their necklace, their scarves that they wear, the things that they put in their hair, the makeup that they wear. Pay attention to the details and compliment them on that. They put a lot of time and energy into those things. We're talking about dating here tonight. Okay, that's the topic for the night. Take them on an actual date and actually pay for the date. And even if that means that you only have to go and like mow a couple of extra lawns, that's okay, right? You don't have to take her to some big fancy meal. Taking her to Smart Cow is great. Like, what a nice treat that would be for her. And if you don't think that she's worth that, if you don't think she's worth you going and mowing 1 or 2 lawns or shoveling in a sidewalk or 2, then you probably shouldn't be going on a date with her, because she deserves to be treated a little bit, one time, like at least, by the guy in her life. Don't go to your parents and ask them for money. Just go take her out and treat her nicely. Sadly though, you need to know, guys, men, that girls use guys too. And that you deserve to be with somebody who thinks that you are awesome. Okay? Girls often talk, not always very kindly, about men behind their backs. Not just like this guy, but just men as a whole. Men are pigs is something that I have heard of many women say in my lifetime. And it's something that you need to know, that you are not pigs. Okay? No, but I need you to take this seriously. Because you need to know that you should never ever let a girl treat you like you are, tell you that you are, or anything like that. You demand dignity from girls too. And for goodness sake, you're a child of God. But just because you aren't a pig does not mean you should ever act like one. Human beings, from time to time, if you are unaware of this, tend to act less than what we are. And it is not unknown for a man or two to act like less than that. You need to know that you are powerful people, okay? Although these girls should not do this, girls, you should not do this, girls put their worth into guys in their lives. That is how they define their worth more often than not, in how the men in their lives treat them. You have a lot of power. You have the power to make a woman just feel great and just understand her worth and her dignity, and you have the power to destroy it. You know, like Spider-Man would say, with great power comes great responsibility. Use your power wisely.
Gentlemen, ask a girl out on a date. Have the same advice. I looked out for notes. No, okay, but seriously, I echo what Krissy said, and I know this takes a tremendous amount of courage to do this. Women, asking you on a date takes a tremendous amount of courage. I will tell you, this is within the last month, that I wanted to call a girl and ask her out on a date. And I pulled up her number on my phone, and I just like stared at it. 10 minutes.
Is that all?
And I was like, and I like went to the mirror in my room, and I'm going, you can do this. You can do this. Hopefully she doesn't pick up. Leave a voicemail. No. But it is. It's a big deal. It's like kind of a huge event in and of itself, whether or not you say yes or not. Coming back to a more serious tone. Guys, perfect opportunity right now. Well, I don't know if you're anything around, but that's a problem.
I am.
Yeah? Alright. Well, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. One thing I will say is that the odds are in your favor. Just an observation from up here. That's what it looks like. Okay? So, but really, this step of calling a girl to ask her out on a date, pretty small, okay, in the end, in the grand scheme of things. And what it does is, guys, it sets us on a path towards being able to achieve what God wants out of us as husbands, okay? And going to Ephesians 5, St. Paul says, "Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church, and handed himself over for her to sanctify her, cleansing her by the bath of water with the word, that he might present to himself the church in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she may be holy and without blemish. So also husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one hates his own flesh, but rather nourishes and cherishes it, even as Christ does the church, because we are members of his body. So husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loved the church, and handed himself over to her on the cross." You know how much courage that probably took? And we can't make a phone call? You gotta step it up.
Ladies, your turn. You deserve to be with someone who thinks you're awesome, okay? Not that your body is awesome, but that you are awesome. 100% the whole package, your mind, your heart, everything. You deserve to be with somebody who thinks you are awesome. Don't put your worth in the boys, okay? The men, sorry, your men. They are good, and they are good to help you to realize your worth, but you should know your worth already. When I ask the question, what do you like about yourself? And if you can't answer that question, you need to do some serious work to figure out what is good about you. Because I know almost all of you, and I know that all of you are awesome. And you deserve to be with somebody who knows it and understands it, and you don't have to convince that to be true, okay? Stop going after the bad boys. What is the deal with that? Come on. You know what bad boys do? They do things badly. They will not treat you well, okay? You will end up in tears. Your heart will be broken. You know, you can still be nice to them, but stop going after the bad boys, okay? Now, these guys, men, I'm sorry, it's a hard habit to get out of.
Guys and men is fine.
But it takes a lot of courage for them to come to somebody who is so awesome, as all of you guys are, and to ask them to put themselves on the line and say, I'm going to ask this girl to go on a date with me. You know, if the answer is no, which is okay if it is no, you need to be gentle about it, okay? And it can be really hard to do. It can be really awkward, but they are being courageous in approaching you and saying, will you go out with me? And you need to have the courage to be gentle, kind, and loving with them if you turn them down. Don't lead them on. You know, I'm not going to lie and say that we don't end up in the friend zone too, because we do. But if you know that a guy wants to be with you and you don't reciprocate those feelings, you again need to have the courage to bring it up in some way, or to deal with it in whatever way that you can. But you also need to protect your heart. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not good at this. Like, I'm really not. But I don't want you guys to end up with, like, in all the ways that I have ended up, after not protecting my heart, you know, just totally crushed, totally heartbroken, after I put so much of my time and energy into seeking people who did not reciprocate those feelings for me. How much time I felt like I have wasted in my life going after somebody who didn't want me back. You know, it's so important to remember that at some point, like, you gotta just deal with the things in your life, with the situations in your life, and protect your heart in those ways. And it can be really awkward and difficult, but it needs to be done. And then I see, so I'm on Pinterest way too much, but one of the things I see on Pinterest a lot of the times are these things about girls posting things about how they kind of feel entitled to a guy. Not necessarily a specific guy, but like they're like, do this for me, do that for me, and there's always like these lists of things. And a lot of times those lists of things are sometimes positive things. A man should do certain things in order to maintain a relationship with you. Because most of the time they end with, or you'll lose me, is what I see a lot of the time, is this phrase, or you'll lose me. And you have to remember that you're not entitled to be in a relationship with any specific person. And a lot of times women like to use trickery, and they like to use ultimatums, and they like to use threats in order to get guys to either be with them or stay with them. And if this man in your life doesn't want to be with you, the harsh reality is that you need to let him go. Like you need to, what's the word I'm looking for? You need to recognize that it's not an authentic relationship if you have to use trickery and threats and ultimatums to keep a guy in your life or to get him to be in your life in the first place. And then finally, just because you're single now doesn't mean you're going to be single forever. I know it can be really hard because everybody is being asked to prom, everybody is going out, everybody has a boyfriend, and it can look like, why am I the only one who doesn't? But it's important to remember that, first of all, you guys are so young. And second of all, there's a huge, big world out there. And there is a guy out there who's going to appreciate you for you, who's going to respect you and treat you well. You just haven't met him yet. And so keep praying for him, keep praying for yourself, keep striving to be the holy, beautiful women that you are. And I promise you, God will bring him into your life.
All right, ladies. You're a pearl of great price to some guy out there, okay? And he's going to sell everything he owns to be with you. You need to challenge men to do that. Men need to be challenged by other men as well, but by you. And in challenging men, you're going to help us become the protectors and the providers that we were made to be. Okay? And you got to give us a chance to do that. I got a little bit of a soapbox here, so bear with me. But when girls ask a guy out on a date, it's really emasculating. Like, kind of, I mean, you might laugh, but yeah. What did you do? Yay, emasculation? No. Boo, emasculation. That's a huge problem. But seriously, okay, another example, personal experience. While I was in high school, when I asked girls to homecoming or prom or whatever the dance was, that was pretty much the only thing that I did, which, as we saw, was a big ordeal. So that took a lot. However, after that, all that had to happen was somebody else's mom planned everything else. And I did zero work to win the girl. Right? And then in the future, so now I'm having to learn this a little late, is that what do women deserve from us? You deserve somebody who's going to take the time to think about what you want and and how to affirm you and how to take you on a really nice date, right? That's a pretty standard expectation, even if it's something as simple as a smart cow. Like, that takes a little bit of planning. Okay, so you got to give us a chance to do that. Okay. The next thing I want to do. Okay. This is not actually a super expensive watch, but we're going to pretend for a little bit. Okay? So, all right. This watch is worth $1 million. Okay? For $1 million, it's really expensive.
I can tell.
Can you please hold it for me? Okay? Is that how you're going to hold it? Okay. I need you to take care of this thing. Okay? If this drops, it's going to break. I don't have $1 million spare dollars. Okay? Okay, good. You got it? Okay, all right. I want you to give that to Josh. Okay, very good. Careful. You got it? You got it? Yeah, you got a firm grip on that thing. Good.
It is. It's very.
Yeah, it is a nice watch. It is a nice watch. Okay. All right.
Sure you got that one.
So, yeah, it's latched on there. It's not going anywhere. I did drop this once. And anyway, okay. So, how did you feel holding that $1 million watch?
Special.
Pretty good. Yeah. How did you feel?
Great.
Yeah. Were you pretty careful with it?
As careful as I could be.
All right. Good. Now, how much is your heart worth? A lot more than $1 million. Okay? When we give ourselves to another person in the sacrament of marriage, we are handing them our heart to do with what they will. And so, when you're dating, you want to look for somebody who you can trust to hold that and take care of it.